It's probably just allergies.
It probably is.
Yeah. You on any allergy medication? I'm on Singular and I live for it.
I remember those commercials. That reminds me of like late 1999, like
Mm-hmm.
trademark gone.
She just called me a dinosaur.
All my friends is dead.
All right. So we should call this our relationship series because we've been talking about relationships now for a couple weeks straight. So this is just a segue into the next part of relationship. So this one is defining the relationship. And this talks more about if you're somebody who has been dating somebody for a while, you guys are connected, she knows your dog. The dog responds great to her when she comes over. You guys share your Spotify playlist, but you still have not been able to determine whether you're going to call her your girlfriend or vice versa, or your boyfriend. So this talks about the anxiety that people feel nowadays, which has not been something in the past, and we'll talk about why that is. But nowadays, the anxiety of defining your relationship.
You called it DTR. And I was like, what is that?
So today we're asking what has become of defining relationships? Why is it causing so much anxiety? And then we will talk about, how to move towards defining relationships if you're in one, how you actually move towards that. We'll talk a little bit too about how this plays into attachment issues, because it really does play into like commitment. Attachment always kind of plays into commitment. So DTR is define your relationship. So that's what we're talking about today. All right. So monogamy used to be the default, right?
Yes.
Now in the age of app dating, which we talked about already in another episode, you could potentially be dating several people at the same time, looking for still a little bit of that monogamy, but more, I think, more just a committed partnership, but not necessarily the idea of like marriage and all the things that come with that. So that's still kind of the goal. However, there is something that researchers now call the readiness paradox, which is this idea that we are so afraid of the relationship eventually failing and the heartbreak that will ensue, that what that does is stop you from fully committing to a relationship. If you're afraid of the heartbreak, if you think this is eventually going to end anyway, they all do. And so you have this readiness for failure, which then would make it that I don't really commit fully.
Yeah. It's better to live disappointed than be disappointed. So if I just put one foot in,
Yes,
it doesn't hurt that bad.
Yeah, which could answer the question as to why, when we talked about in our episode prior, which is the dating fatigue and app fatigue, why that's happening is because nobody really feels secure enough to be all in, which is understandable. And so that's why you never really feel like you're getting 100% of somebody at this point.
But also, we didn't talk about this on the last episode, but like, can you imagine, like, back in the day, you're like, I hope they look like their picture. Now you're like, I hope they a person and not AI. Like,
Right?
how bad is that?
Well, because no one's going to look like the person because it is an AI filtered picture of them.
Right. So you could say, like, you don't look like your picture, but like, I hope you're a human being. Like, that is some shit.
Do you exist?
That is serious.
All right. In therapy now, we're seeing more people who are stuck in what we will call limbo state. So they are dating somebody, they feel very stuck in the relationship because the anxiety of having the conversation about commitment is something they're not interested in approaching. So they are stuck in this limbo of, I don't know what we are.
And it's not even just not interested in approaching. It's so weighted because that ties into like vulnerability, like potential rejection. What if potentially they say yes? What does that mean? How's my life going to change? But it's such a vulnerable thing. And so it's avoided.
Yeah, we're going to talk about avoiding attachment in a second. But I saw this stat. I thought it was great. 81% of young people right now hard launch their relationship on social media.
I love
hard launch. You hard launch it on social media. So there was research that talked about how anxiety increases when you actually post a picture of somebody that you're interested in, and how many people reserve posting because they're afraid of the perception of that. So I don't want to post a picture of him and I out last night because then everybody's going to ask if we're together, and I don't know if we're together. I don't know if we're in a relationship right now, so I can't post it. And so I think what they mean more is that 81%, when they confidently post a picture of them as like a couple, they're announcing the relationship because the feedback is going to be, oh, you guys are so cute. Are you together? And so that's, I think, what they mean by it.
What do we think about like after you break up? Are you supposed to like wash the social media page? What do we think on that?
So I live vicariously through so many of my clients who are going through it. And they do. They're like, I deleted all my pictures of him. He's gone. I deleted all my pictures of her. She's off my page. So yeah, they just take them all off. And that's, again, when you talk about hard launch, that's hard launching our breakup. Is like, not only did I unfollow, but I took all the pictures off. Yeah. So then everybody knows not to ask me about her or him anymore because they're gone. I took every picture off. So yeah.
But then you're like, how many times have you washed the social media?
Yeah.
When you leave them on there, you're like, "Okay, we got 1, 2, 2.5
Mhm.
relationships, okay." But if you don't, you're like, "There could have been 10.
Yeah.
I just don't even know."
I think sometimes too, though, and I would love to hear other people's comments about this when you go through it, but I think sometimes too, it's well, I posted so many pictures that's like, love of my life, we're in Mexico, and they're like, I don't want next guy to see that. Like, I don't want to explain that to the next relationship I'm in, or obviously, like, I don't want to have to go back and have that person see us because we talked before about the dating apps and such. And like, if you're invested in somebody new, you're doing a deep dive. Like, you're looking them up, you're going through their stuff, you're looking at their pictures, making sure they're not AI and that
Mhm.
they're a real person. And if you see like love of my life and I in Cabo still up there, you might have questions. It might be something you're like, I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, I can see why people take it all down.
Mhm.
Yeah, that part's you're like erasing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I have pictures of
Mhm.
the previous relationship I was into before my husband. Those
Mhm.
pictures are all still
Still up.
on my social media. The caveat that is different is that the relationship ended because they died.
Well,
So,
I think that's very different.
right. But
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
that's one of the things that's very different. And so, like, washing that, erasing
yeah. That
it,
would
like,
feel so. And I think those memories have just so much different meaning.
yeah, and I'm sure that's, like, not super comfortable for my husband, but it's important to me that, like, the partner I'm with respects that that was,
Yes,
like, a time period in my life and
right.
isn't asking me to pretend that it didn't exist because it
Yes,
didn't end because, like, things were bad and
right,
things were
right.
terrible, so it's different that
But
way.
if you were with somebody for 4 years and they cheated on you 2 of those 4 years,
Bye. You
he's
gone.
gone. He's scrubbed. He's done.
You
He's done.
out.
Justifiably so. Jeanette, take him
Mhm.
off of there. It's fine. All right. So the real reasons why people won't have the talk about defining the relationship. One, and this is where we get into the attachment stuff. So attachment avoidance. Research is clear that people with avoidant attachment just don't like commitment. They will avoid it as much as they possibly can. They have a script for relationship failure in their head already kind of mapped out, and they will avoid the term girlfriend or boyfriend as much as possible.
And also, statistically speaking, the majority of the available dating pool are folks that have avoidant attachment,
Ugh.
which not surprising, but just from a
Mhm.
numbers perspective, just throwing that out there.
I think that would put so many people's mind at ease, though, if they really conceptualize that.
Mhm.
But it will help a lot of people who are struggling with dating and feeling like, what is the matter with the people that I'm dating? Like, I'm trying to be in committed relationships with these people. What is going wrong?
And
That's what's
and
going
you
wrong.
know that thing when you date someone, you're like, you gonna good luck finding someone better than me, like that whole thing. But I think also when you're on dating apps, like if you've had a period where like, okay, you met someone, you're in a relationship for maybe 3, 4, 6 months, doesn't work out, you go back on the apps and you see the same damn people and you're like,
Hmm.
it's been a year, this guy's still on here.
Hmm.
This is what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they're still on there.
Hmm.
Yes,
Right.
that's why. It wasn't just you. They're likely having
Absolutely.
this experience with multiple people and here they still are.
Yeah. Goes back to how we've talked about patterns for so long. Like when someone just has that pattern, you just have to look at it as a pattern and whether or not they're doing anything to change it, those people are not. So they will be on there 5 years from now, 10
Yeah,
years from
don't
now.
reach out to them, be like, "I think it's a sign." It's not.
No,
It's not a sign.
nope,
No.
nope, leave them alone.
Mhm.
The soft launch is a self protective loop. So 46% of Gen Z soft launches relationships. And the reason is because they believe that research believes that they have watched millennials crash and burn with the hard launches
Oh,
on social
okay.
media and having to watch them then post and then get engaged and then subsequently get divorced within the first 5 years, which happens often. So there is a new generation that is very anxious about declaring relationship status because they are so predisposed to watching relationships fail in real time, which
Can I ask
social
what a
media has
soft
let.
launch is? So is that like you see it 2 hands in the photo and then it's like hashtag you're the best? And I'm like,
I think
"What who is
soft,
that?" Like,
again,
what is a soft
reach
launch?
out and correct us if we're completely off base, but I'm just going by my clients. I think the soft launch is more when you're telling people around you that this person is in your life. I'm bringing this person to certain things.
Oh.
Like this person might show up at Easter or Thanksgiving. And so it's not like a declaration that to everybody. It's just,
Is that
hey,
like
I'm bringing somebody home for Thanksgiving. I want you to meet him.
so you bring somebody and you introduce them, you're like, "This is Bob." You don't say,
Right.
"This is my boyfriend,
Right.
Bob." You go,
Again,
"This
because
is
we're kind
Bob."
of we're keeping out the word boyfriend and
Yeah, we're just
girlfriend.
saying this is Bob. He could be anybody,
You're right.
right? He could be
Right.
my HVAC guy,
Yeah. But it's
right?
funny. So I have lots of clients. We've just, gone through the holidays, recently. And so I've talked to them and I've seen it play out that they'll be like, yeah, he's going to come by, the day after Christmas and just like hang out. they haven't announced like, this is my boyfriend, but they're just saying like, oh, I'm bringing somebody, and they just skip over it. They just tell the family like, hey, I want you to meet him. He's coming over, but there's no declaration of he's my boyfriend. She's my girlfriend.
A soft launch almost sounds like, let me go try this on, see how it fits.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not. The length is no good.
Mhm.
Okay, we're gonna hang this one right back.
Yeah. But again, if they've been watching what they feel is the generation before them over declare too
Mhm.
soon, and then what they feel is crash and burn, you can see it. You can be
These
like, they're
pants
like,
are the like, I don't know, when you bought, like, a juicy sweatsuit with juicy on the
Mhm.
butt and you're like, "I'm committed to this," and you're like, "You hard launched that. How do you feel about that?"
Mhm.
"No,
Yep.
we're gonna get try these on." "Nope. Nope, too
That's
long,
how
too
they're doing
long."
it. And to their credit too, or well, a credit or not, this is just the way the relationship patterns are going. But these particular generation are staying in these relationships longer.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they'll be in relationships for 5, 6, 7 years, then break up and
Mm.
get in another 5, 6, 7 year relationship. So they're pushing that commitment part off. So if they're pushing the girlfriend boyfriend phase off, we're pushing off the commitment as well. Again, same fears. People crashed and burned too long. So sometimes where Generation X would have been engaged and married within 5, 6 years of dating somebody,
Sure.
we've got other people now who are taking longer, which is good because what's happening is after 5, 6 years, they are breaking up.
You
They're deciding they don't want
I
to do it
think that's
anymore.
interesting because I do hear a lot when people are like, "How long have you been married?" And
Mhm.
they're like, "Married for 4, been together for 15." Like, that is a common way to
People do answer that question like
answer
that.
that question.
Yeah.
They don't just say, we've been married for 4 years, together for 15."
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I hear that a lot.
And that's why people want you to know, like, this isn't, we are not just been together for
Mhm.
4 years, just met 4 years ago, been together for 4 years, married right now. They want you to know there's been some history. We've been in a relationship for a while. But I think, again, like, declaring it just comes later. It's just not as important. Research shows it's more based out of fear and anxiety, though, than it
Mhm.
is based off of something that we've just decided isn't as worthy. It's just more fear based.
Yeah.
So it leads us to reason 3 why people are putting off this conversation. Fear of being too much. There's a gender dynamic worth naming, which is that women especially have been culturally conditioned to act unbothered by things. So we don't want to ask for clarity because that comes off as needy. We don't want to be too much for the relationship. We don't want to come on too strong and chase someone away. These are all things, they're narratives that have been played culturally in our head. We did a whole episode on trying to be the cool girl. We definitely suggest that people go back and listen to that because it speaks a lot to why women have a fear of trying to define the relationship too early. We are
Mhm.
just conditioned to believe that we should just wait that out.
They'll bring it up.
Yep, doesn't bother us that we haven't, and that's something that we just lie to
Oh,
ourselves about.
that's I
Mhm.
love the qualification, like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, we're not exclusive." No, I'm good with that
it
because
doesn't bother me.
honestly, like, I'm not really in a place.
Mhm.
Brenda,
Right.
you've been in a place.
Then you
You
ask
ready.
Brenda in a subsequent session, "Hey, Brenda, what are you looking for as out of a relationship?" And Brenda says, "A committed partnership."
Yeah, she didn't even stutter.
It's like right away. Brenda knows what she wants, and good for Brenda.
I
But
love
she's
that for
just
you,
holding
Brenda.
back because of the fear of the
Fear. Yeah.
perception of what she would look like if she asks Joey if we are in a committed relationship or
Biff.
not. Biff. Brenda's not with no Biff. Brenda's got standard. Okay. Reason number 4, the situation is comfortable the way that it is. We don't want to rock the boat, right? So we're just going to keep everything status quo. And that works for some rationale, right? My
Mhm.
relationship is comfortable. I like where we are. We seem to be in a good flow. The problem on that comes from, but I'm still not getting my needs met because I really do have a need of wanting this relationship to be something else
Mm.
or progress to something else. And I'm holding back on that just to keep status quo. So the safety that I think I am being provided by this being good enough right now is stopping me from getting what I really want.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's important to discern and separate out, like, does it feel comfortable right now? Like, we're in a groove and things are good? Or is it just familiar? Those are 2 different things, and
Mhm.
I think it's important. Familiar is, recognize this, I might not be getting my needs met.
Yes.
Comfortable is like, no, we might be vibing. We're just kind of like, on
Yes.
the same page right now, and that's working. That's not the same. Those aren't the same
No.
things.
Yep. Yeah. And that, like you had mentioned in there, the checking in with your own comfort level is huge, right? Like
Hmm.
this feels satisfactory to me versus I am unsatisfied in what I would really like, but I'm just holding on to it for safety. I don't want to put it at risk. So I'm not going to ask for more.
Hmm.
So it's, yeah, checking in with where you are comfortably is huge with that. Okay. So what the defining the relationship conversation is actually for. So most people have this assumption that it's to lock somebody in or down into a committed
I haven't
relationship.
heard that phrase in a hot minute. Imma lock
Lock
you
them
down.
down. Yeah, so that's not what it's
Like,
about.
where are they going? Where are we afraid they're going?
Leaving. Everyone's afraid that the person's
Where
leaving.
are they gonna go? I'm gonna track you down on social media. Where are you going
Yeah,
that
I
I
know, but
can't
they're
find
gonna
you?
but you're gonna find out they're with somebody
I will
else. It's
find you.
always about moving on. It's always about the somebody moving on to
My
somebody
favorite
else.
is when people are like, "I got them all ready, and the next person, I
Yes.
did them a favor. They're just
Mhm.
gonna be" No, they're gonna bring their same broken
That's
shit
right.
into the next thing. What
That's
are you
right.
talking about?
And remember, you're exhausted from trying to fix the shit you thought you were trying to fix. Guess what? She's not gonna put in that much effort. She's gonna be like, "Oh, this is a lot of work. I'm out. I'm out."
Yeah,
Or
she is.
he, not to
Yeah,
be
I'm
biased.
out sooner. I'm not waiting
Mhm.
10 years.
Yes. No, no, no. So, reasoning for this conversation is really much more personal. So, it is to check in with your nervous system and to get your nervous system to be where it's the most comfortable. If every time we're together, I'm like, I just don't know. Are we together? Are we a couple? Is he committed to me? Are we seeing other people? I don't even know. Your nervous system is activated on a regular basis. Even
Mhm,
when you're together, your nervous
mhm,
system is activated.
mhm.
So it really is out of a selfish protective need to get my nervous system to be calm and to get my nervous system and my sense of self to be where it's most comfortable. Again, we kind of go back to that comfort and safety feeling
Mhm.
always because it should be paramount for your own mental health, but it's to get you back to a place where you feel safe. And so defining a relationship and knowing where I stand with somebody makes me feel safe.
And your nervous system is not looking for you to be like, "Do you like me still?"
Right.
That is not what your
No.
nervous system is asking you to do. Your nervous system, what actually feeds it is consistency, reciprocity, behaviors and words that line up. That's the stuff that
Mhm.
is actually going to like soothe your nervous system because you're going to be like, I know, let's like have a talk. How many times you been have that talk, you leave more confused? That happens to me
Yes.
all the time. And I'm like,
Yes.
my nervous system was like, girl, you did it again. You
We
thought we
walked right
needed
back
answer.
into that.
Nope. Confusion was your what did we do?
Yes.
Girl,
Yeah.
you need a break. Like you need to take a deep breath.
So this is exactly what you did.
My nervous system is
Yeah,
sassy.
it is. But it's on point for the next couple points, which is your nervous system starts to feel like the relationship is more of a continued audition. Like I am
Yes.
auditioning for the role of
Yes.
his girlfriend or
Yep.
boyfriend, and
Yep.
if we don't ever define it, I don't know if I ever got the role, but I'm
Did I
I'm
get the part?
constantly auditioning for it, and your nervous system cannot function like that, right? Because then I don't know if the one thing I did got me out of contention for the role, and you just don't feel safe. So
It's kinda like you get the part of the understudy. You're like, "Am I gonna get put in? If they get sick, I don't
they
know, but
can't
I
find
should
anybody
be
better. I got the
prepared."
part.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that when you
Mm-hmm.
don't define it, that you're kind of the understudy, but, like, you
Yes.
don't get any credits in the billing. No one's
Yes.
clapping for
And
you.
let me tell you, we are not the understudies. Whoever you're dating right now is not the understudy. They are the main character. Treat them as such or let them
Yes,
go.
girl.
I
Yes. You
hear
ain't
you,
no
man.
lemon.
Nobody's a lemon. Nobody
Mm-mm.
puts baby in the corner either.
No.
All right. Here's to your point. Ambiguity in relationships activates the same anxiety response as an actual threat.
Mhm.
Your brain does not know the difference between you are about to get fired and you're about to get broken up with. They are the same anxiety response.
Mhm.
So if I still don't know where we stand and we have been dating for a year now and I still don't know if I'm your girlfriend or not, my nervous system doesn't know the difference between that and that I don't know if I'm going to have a job tomorrow.
Or
It's the same response.
an elephant be chasing me.
Yeah, same
Same
thing.
thing.
Same thing.
Mhm.
Your brain and your nervous system is like, whatever, we're upset, we're worried, let's go. And it has the same response. So ambiguity definitely causes that anxiety in a relationship. And that's why there's a benefit to defining the relationship at some point. Research on the ambiguity over time says that it hurts and causes frustration in the relationship and
Mhm.
often can lead to then someone just leaving.
Resentment, big.
Yes, because if the ambiguity goes on for too long, what happens is one particular person in the partnership starts to say, if they didn't want to define the relationship by now, they won't. And I
Mhm.
should probably prepare to leave. And so that starts to then the resentment builds because if you don't want to say that you're with me by now or commit to me by now, you don't want me. It causes frustration. And if we don't define it soon enough, the relationship then will just end.
I think it's actually harder to leave. I think the resentment builds because there still is this, well, maybe they will. Well,
Mm-hmm.
they should. So
Mm-hmm.
they're going to. So I'm going to stay. I
Mm-hmm.
think the resentment goes from not leaving. I think it gets hard. I think it's really hard for people to get to a place where they're like, my needs aren't getting met. I'm out. They're like, my
Mm-hmm.
needs aren't getting met, but like they do get met sometimes. But I
Mm-hmm.
also, I'm kind of like in a relationship with your potential. We talk about
Right.
that a lot.
Right.
So it makes it harder to leave. When it's harder to leave and your needs aren't getting met, that is like a breeding
Mm-hmm.
ground for resentment.
Yeah.
Like,
And it kind of goes back to that audition thing, right? It's
yes,
like I still feel
the
like, well, I didn't
understudy.
get the role yet, but I could.
Yeah, put me
So
in.
I gotta stay. I gotta see this
Exactly.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just not good for anybody in that situation. I mean, if you think about it in that way, like constantly auditioning for a role that I'm not sure I'm going to get, how long can we function in that
I'm
way?
really sorry for understudies in real life because that must be some shit.
It's serious
I just would like to take a moment and say, "You're seen."
because you're like wishing for somebody to be sick and not be able to come, but you don't want somebody to be sick, but you only get your shot.
I'm sorry.
I know.
You're seen.
I know. We hear. All right. So some tips on how to have the conversation.
The
The conversation to define the relationship. So timing timing matters. Don't do this at 1 a.m. or after a few drinks or right
Oh,
after
that's the worst
sex
one.
or in the middle of a fight. Don't throw out, and you know what? We need to figure out what we are.
Mhm.
Not going to work. Pick the timing appropriately. Things need to be calm. Things need to be amicable. It needs to be a setting in which you feel you can have a long conversation. If it tends to be a long conversation, you need to be in a mental place where if it doesn't get defined the way you were hoping it get defined, you feel okay. You've got your support system. You are in a place where you can get to your support system and talk to them and vent. And so that needs to be thought out. If you live together, which would already kind of define a little bit of the relationship, but if you're roommates and trying to figure out if we're going to continue or go further, make sure you have thought that through before you have these conversations so that you're in a safe place to have them. So timing and the environment does matter. Lead with the truth, right? This is how I feel. I'm feeling like we are progressing. I'm feeling like I would like to be in a committed partnership with you. And I
Mhm.
would like to know where you stand on that or how you feel about that. So lead with the truth of how you feel. Whether it be I want to be committed or I don't, regardless, it's just how you feel about defining the relationship and then build upon that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, and I feel like I'm guilty of this too, we lead with a question. So,
Yes.
what
What
are
are
we
we?
doing?
Mhm.
So, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
So, what do you think we should do? They're going to let you go, I don't know. What do you think? And you go, I don't know. What do you think?
Because if you do the questions, you just question each other back and forth until somebody says it. So just
Yeah.
cut through it and
So, just
say,
lead with
mm-hmm.
here's what I know to be true for me today. Today, I feel like I want to give this a try. I enjoy spending time together. I want to build more of a connection. That's where I'm at today.
Right.
And you just invite someone else the opportunity to speak about what is true for them versus asking them a question.
Right. And the last tip on that is just know exactly what you are wanting from the conversation before you start it. So if your goal is, I really need to know if we are monogamous. That's your goal. I want to leave this conversation knowing if we're in a monogamous relationship with each other. Are we not seeing other people? Have we determined that we like each other enough to cut off any and other partners or talking to other partners? Then that's the goal. If the goal is, are we going to declare ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend? Would you consider me to be your girlfriend at this point? Then that's what I'm trying to determine. But you're not trying to determine the whole scope. Do you see yourself marrying me? Do you see yourself having kids? If that's not really where you're at right now, if where you're at right now is like, we've been dating for a while and I just want to know, are we committed enough to say we choose each other and only each other at this point? We're not going to date and talk to other people. So know your goal when you go into it and have it stay very consistent to that point. Let's not go too far.
And I think define those terms and try to get clarity on those terms during the relationship
Mhm.
because what monogamy means to you might mean something different, right? Like hooking up, what it means culturally today is not what it meant when we were younger.
Right.
Girlfriend, boyfriend, those terms, they may mean something to you and something. So you might say, am I your girlfriend? And someone says yes. And you're like, down the road we go. And you never clarified, well, what does that mean to you?
Right.
Right? You could say, like, well, to me, monogamy looks like X, Y, and Z. To me, being your
Mhm.
girlfriend looks like X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z. So make sure that you are clarifying that. Ideally, you're having those conversations before this one. But
Yeah.
if not, make sure you're clarifying your understanding of what that means when someone's agreeing to it.
Yeah. Because I think that will come up. What does it mean if I'm your girlfriend? What does
Yes.
it mean if I'm your boyfriend? And that's a fair question. That's okay. They want clarity. They're allowed
Like,
it.
am I wearing the matching pajamas on Christmas or I can opt out of that? Just want to know.
Listen,
Are we sharing a toothbrush or we're
oof.
not? Is it okay to share a toothbrush?
God, my answer is always no.
Would you rather sans brush than share? If your
If
choice
I
is
didn't
I have to
have one,
use some like your husband's
if
toothbrush
we
or
traveled and I forgot mine,
you would sooner not brush.
I would brush. I would just do the
So you would
for teeth.
you would not use another
I
toothbrush.
wouldn't. God love my husband, and the question would be like, "Don't you kiss him?" It's like, "Yep, I do," but we do not need to share the same toothbrush. You would do the toothbrush.
No.
Oh, okay. You gave me a look like I was crazy.
Girl, no.
Okay, I got some examples to give for this, and then we'll close it out with a tip. But all right, so we've been dating for 4 months. He says he's not into labels. Is that a red flag in my relationship with this person? 4 months dating. I'm going to assume, we're going to give the credit to assume 4 months, and we think it's pretty much monogamous. but
Mhm.
I'm not into labels. What are you thinking?
100% a red flag.
Me too. Me too.
If
Yep.
someone is saying, like, "I'm not into labels," they're putting distance to something that you're trying to close the distance with.
Absolutely. Because you got to think of this in terms of defining the relationship conversation. So this person went to this person and said, I would like to figure out like where we are in our relationship. And the response after 4 months was, well, I'm not really into labels. Okay. Well,
I
our
am.
relationship status is important to me. I'm trying to define where we are.
Mhm.
If you're saying, well, you're just never going to answer that question, that's information to me.
And I think it's the importance, like I said, is it something that that person they may say, like, "I'm not into labels, I never thought about it." So someone could say, like, "I'm not into labels, I never thought about it, but I'm not trying to put distance,"
Right.
versus, "I'm not into labels because 'cause I'm actively trying to put distance between me and
Yes.
any
Yes.
potential of a
I'm
label."
not into labels because I
Red
have no desires to
flag.
be anybody's boyfriend or girlfriend. That's
Correct.
the
Red
data that
flag.
you need. Yeah,
Red
that's the information that you're getting from that conversation. She said she wasn't ready for a relationship, but still acts like my girlfriend. What is happening here?
You letting her.
That happens all the time.
You letting her.
All the time, people are in what they think is connected relationships with people. You go out and that person acts like you're in a relationship. They buy you a drink, they hang out with you, they dance with you all night. And then the next weekend comes, you don't hear from them at all. Then the next weekend comes, they're like, what are you doing? Let's go out. And they act very into you.
Mhm.
They show you a lot of affection. They show you a lot of
Mhm.
attention. There's no reason to think there's not interest, but they want nothing to do with the relationship, so to speak.
It's called intermittent reinforcement. Why are they doing that? Because our behavior, one
Mhm.
weekend, they're all into it. The next weekend, they're not. But then when they come back around, we allow it.
Right. And
That's why they think it's okay. That's what's happening
Mhm.
is we are allowing a dynamic. And so you have to stop and ask, does this dynamic work for me? Maybe it does. And I'm sure it works for plenty of
It
people.
does.
Roll out,
Yeah.
do your thing.
Yeah.
But if it's like, I can't believe like one weekend they're acting like I'm here and the next weekend,
Mhm.
well, we need to, what behavior of mine is contributing
Right.
where like, that I'm not going to answer. If you call me at
Right.
2 a.m., you up? I'm not
Yeah.
answering that. Like,
And I'm making them feel really great because they can pop in and out of my life at any point in time. And I'm making them feel like there's attention here, there's affection here. Yes, I'll dance with you all night. So they're not, it's a win-win for them.
mhm.
Whenever they're excited to see me and they act like they're excited to see me, I'm excited to see them. And then they disappear. There's no consequence. So why would the pattern stop?
And that goes back to our episode where we talk about like access to you does not mean the same thing as
Mhm.
someone being able to like show up for you.
Right.
And someone that's engaging in that behavior just has access to you. They're not showing up for you.
Yep. Some good episodes back there that people need to listen to.
Red
Just
flag.
saying. Okay, last one. I soft launched him on Instagram. He noticed and said nothing. Do I bring it up?
I have so many questions and none.
I
What?
have
That
so many questions.
my one what? First of all, I don't even know what a soft launch is.
Okay.
Number
Well,
2,
let's just say we posted and we declared some sort of relationship, and the person that we're seeing did not bring up the said post.
oh, I'm going to make it really easy for
Mhm.
you. What things do I bring up? Do I bring it up? Like, should I tell? Is it important to you? If you answer yes to that question, always bring it up.
Mhm.
It's not, is it that important? Is it important to you? So you
Right.
posted it, he didn't do anything about it. Is it important to you? If it is important to you, that is the only requirement in terms of if I should bring something
Mhm.
up is does this matter to me?
Mm.
If it does, bring it up. It's not about like, is that too much? Is that no, 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 no. Like it's subjective. That some people might say, like, that's not important to me at all. Okay, fine. Bring up things that are important to you.
Right. Mhm.
Talk about the things that are legitimately important to you. They're not going to stop being important to you just because you don't bring them up. That's not how that works at all.
Mhm.
Mm,
All right, closing tips. So ambiguity is not a relationship.
nope.
It just sticks you in a waiting room, and that is not comfortable for anybody and definitely not comfortable for your nervous system. So we've talked about this ad nauseum. We always will. Communication is key. Talk to people in your relationship status about how you're feeling, what you're wanting, what you're hoping for in their relationship. Ambiguity will only leave you more frustrated and can lead to resentment.
Ambiguity. We don't know her.
We don't know. She doesn't belong here.
No.
Defining the relationship isn't about desperation. It is about respecting needs. So
Mhm.
please keep that in mind because there
Mhm.
is a perception that if I want to define this relationship, it's going to make me look needy or it's going to
Mhm.
make me look like I want more than they want. No, it just means you're being clear and you're trying to respect your needs.
And remember, clear is kind.
And if someone can't tell you what you are to them, then that might be the answer that you're looking for. right?
Confusion may be the answer.
If I don't know, if we've been dating for quite some time and someone still doesn't know what I mean to them, that might be just what I need to hear. That might be just what I need to recognize and hear and understand.
Yes.
And that defining the relationship doesn't always mean declaring we're staying together.
Yes.
We're just defining the relationship as it is.
Yeah, like, what are we doing here?
What we doing?
Yeah.
Where we at?
Where are we at?
All right. Feel free to check us out on Spotify and Apple and Podbeam and YouTube at the Nearly Normal Podcast. And then also email us if you want to, or check our website out at the nearlynormalpodcast.com.
And in the comments, if you want to say something, you can say what you mean, but don't be saying that shit meanly, please.
Kindness. We can't say it more.
Kindness, kindness.
Yeah.
Yes. And until next time, stay nearly normal.